Hello. This is Pete Sanderson, and today I will tell you how easy it is to be a genius among the crowd, get recognition, and generally become cool. Do you want to know how this is possible? Then stay with me. My parents went to work in another country a long time ago, and I was left in the care of my Uncle Ted. He is a kind of dude. He never worries about anything and doesn't bother. He once told me that he wanted to transfer me to another school. "We've just opened the Guinness School here. What do you think if I transfer you there?" "Are you joking, Uncle? Only geniuses can study there." "Well, if you look at it, I think it's a bunch of idiots. You either overestimate me or underestimate me. I bet you can make them in no time. I've got something for you." "Oh, I'm sorry, Uncle. I don't do drugs." "This is different. Alcohol too. You know, I don't want to be like you." "Whoa, I've only been drunk once in my life, and you are making me remember that. Let's get off the subject. In short, you know, I used to serve in the Navy, so my long-time colleague has been engaged in some business for many years. This is something like pharmaceuticals, only cooler. He offered me some sort of brain activators, and I thought, why do I need them? There is no one smarter than me. But you could improve your knowledge. You know, studying at Guinness is a direct route to a prestigious college." "Is it safe?" "So when you steal my car and prowl around in it at night, it's safe. But it's not safe to drink a tested product." "Oh, I thought you didn't know about the car." "Come on, I'm not mad. Just buy me a new one later." I'm just kidding. Enroll in that school and I will officially allow you to ride in my car." At first, it all sounded like nonsense, but taking the car from my uncle was very tempting, so I agreed. My uncle brought me some of the pills the next day. I had to drink first one, then two, then one again. Every week the dose was changed since the brain got used to it and began to work differently. Sometimes with a double load, then without it. As soon as I drank it, I didn't feel anything. It even seemed to me that it was garbage and not pills. Then my uncle decided to test me. He turned on the calculator and asked me, "How much is 105 minus 76? 29? 4,568. 3,060. 45 plus 6,821. 1,473. And that's wrong. It will be 2,373. "No, Uncle. Multiplication or division in the example is performed first, then plus or minus." "You're a fucking genius. That's right. I was testing you. You're going to the exam tomorrow." I went to bed very excited. I spent the whole night working out examples in my head and just got high. I was barely able to get a C grade in high school. And here I was solving examples without a calculator. It's just awesome. At first, I was very worried before the exam, but then I took a pill and calmed down. I went to the exam and everyone looked at me because they'd read my file and looked at the report card. And then the teacher whispered aloud to his colleagues. As Gaucho Marx said, "He may sound like an idiot and look like an idiot, but you must not be deceived." She didn't even finish the quote and everyone began to laugh. I was very hurt. I took a step forward and said, "Professor, you've made a mistake. You probably did not mean Gaucho, but Groucho Marx. Finish the sentence." He said maybe he sounds like an idiot and looks like an idiot, but you shouldn't be fooled. He is an idiot, right? Let me note that public ridicule, and even over a person whom you consider more vulnerable than yourself, speaks of numerous complexes. And it is at least not ethical on your part. You are a professor. You should teach us young people. Be an example. Am I right? After my opening speech, there was silence in the audience, and the professor turned red with shame. Next, the woman sitting next to him cleared her throat and asked me a question. "How many months in a year contain 28 days? 12. Who sleeps with their eyes open? Fish. The street thermometer shows 15 degrees. How many degrees will two such thermometers show? 15. What do astronauts lose during the flight? Weight. In what year was the light bulb invented?" You have a very vague question. There are several inventors. They are all from a different period and all have a different system of operation of the light bulb, and some just patented it. What is your specific question? No questions asked. I was accepted 3 minutes after the exam. It was the happiest day of my life. My uncle was more excited than I was, and I was more excited than I would be driving his car more often. My first days at the School of Geniuses showed me that my uncle was right. Rather, it was not a school for geniuses, but idiots. Because the guys in my class couldn't solve even elementary problems in chemistry and mathematics, and I solved them easily. The first month, I even got bored studying there, but the headmaster insisted that his school had the strongest minds in the city. Well then, not strong enough, I said. Meanwhile, the guys around me hated me because I was easy to learn and others were not. I continued to take the drugs and my uncle was happy to get them. The headmaster liked me so much that he decided to send me to the main exam among other genius schools from several states. It was supposed to take place in a week. I was studying hard, but something happened on the day of the exam. Yes, my progress was brilliant, and it was not surprising that the guys got tired of it. 3 of my classmates were considered the strongest students of Guinness, so they fished me out after school. He had one place that was boiling the most, and I don't mean the brain. Well, come on, get your wheels out. What's up, drugs? Are you crazy? Are you familiar with the concept of personal space? Go where you were going, Freddie. Try to read books, not for children. Maybe you will learn something. Are you kidding? I was the best before you came. Maybe you were, but you're not anymore. There are no irreplaceable people. All right, you've got me. The 3 of them grabbed me. Fred punched me in the stomach, and the other 2 went through my bag and jacket. They found white pills in a bag in the inside pocket. I shouted at them to give them up, threatened them, but they wouldn't listen. Fred said he would report back to the director. I yelled that I was late to be released, but the guys just wouldn't listen. They swallowed some of the pills and took the other part to the director. I was confused. I had to go to the exam, and I had not yet drunk the activator. I wrote to my uncle to bring them to school and wait for him, but there was no time left. I walked into the auditorium. My hands were shaking. I was sweating profusely. I didn't look like myself at all. I pulled out the ticket, and everything swam in front of my eyes. I couldn't even read what was written there. They asked me if I was all right, but I was already out of breath. I was having a panic attack. At that moment, my uncle called me into the corridor, and I was allowed to leave my ticket and get out. Uncle, uncle, uncle! Hey, hush! Why are you so soft, huh? They took my meds. Give me more. I can't do this without them. I'm getting stupid. I have something to tell you. At that moment, I saw my director walking down the hall with Fred and the others. One of them was pointing at me and saying something. That's it, I'm screwed. I'll be stupid again, and I'll be expelled, I thought. Mr. Rye, here! These are the pills he got to get smarter. Did you call me in to tell me that? Well, yes. Is that legal? What's legal? Fred, this is the usual ascorbic acid. What are you boiling here if they help him? Then let him eat, and it won't hurt you. Maybe then you'll have more brains. The director left, wishing me good luck, and I stood like a post in complete confusion. Uncle, so these guys are actual idiots. No, it means you're a genius. I'm sorry, I came up with everything, but only because I believed and knew that you were smart. You're smarter than me and your father and even your mother. Just don't tell her about it. It's not enough for her to rub my chest hair later. I didn't know how else to motivate you to apply, but I believed you could, and so it turned out. I was just overwhelmed with emotion. I was called to the office, I went in, took another ticket, read, focused, and answered everything in 5 minutes. I was collected and remembered everything I had learnt. It turns out that I had prepared very well, and I was happy about it. And then what happened? Well, I passed the exam successfully. Fred was biting his elbows with anger and envy, and the other guys respected me even more. Sometimes we can't see the coolest talents in front of us, and even if we do, we don't allow them to develop. So guys, will you get a Sorbic?
Would you like to have some kind of superpower? What would you choose? I'd prefer teleportation, telekinesis, or the ability to inspire. But my friends say I already have a special gift. I will tell you about it now. According to my mother's story, the day I was born was crazy weather. Rain turned to snow, snow to rain, then suddenly sunshine. They were very much waiting for my birth with my father, since their age was old and there were no more children. It will seem strange, but I did not grow and develop like all children. At about 9 months, I already began to walk, and when I was barely 2 years old, I was already talking. Because of my rapid development and early age, I could not go to kindergarten, so my parents hired teachers and I studied at home. My mother said that I have a great desire and interest in studying. All night, there were practically no toys in my room. I was literally drowning in encyclopedias. I could not quench my thirst for knowledge. I thought I was getting stronger when I knew more. My parents were proud that I had such a great memory and that I was such a gifted child. They were sure that I was born for a special purpose. With this thought in mind, I continued to develop my skills. At about 6 years old, I already knew 2 foreign languages, Spanish and French. As expected, I had to go up the social ladder gradually, so when I went to first grade, I was really bored. Just imagine that you are 18 years old in development, and you are sitting among children and learning the alphabet. But my parents asked me to be patient, to give them time to prepare the principal and teachers for my talent. The first 6 months, I still somehow lasted, but I was irritated by my peers, who drew letters as they fell, read from syllables, and did not know the periodic table. For my little rebellion and refusal to get acquainted with the letter R, I was put alone in the very back of the desks. This proved to be a good thing, because there I was not disturbed by anyone, and I allowed myself to continue studying probability theory. My classmates were afraid of my appearance. I think because I felt much older than them and looked like a baby, and children feel each other. I managed to pretend to be normal, but over time, my acting skills began to fail. Okay, I admit, I did it on purpose. Our teacher, Miss Gandhi, was a nice girl, quite erudite, correct, and very attractive to look at. I told you I was only a child on the outside. I can already evaluate women's beauty. So once, in one of the lessons, she gave us a task. She was preparing for some courses in mathematics. Miss Gandhi tried to multiply, divide, add up large numbers in her mind. 1, 2, 3 times 6, 3, 4, you get 77,981. 2, I said. What? Will be 77,982. The teacher looked questioningly at the classroom door, but there was no one else there. First, she checked everything on the calculator, then looked at the class. Everyone was busy with her task. Everyone except me. She asked if I had spoken to her. Well, I did not miss the opportunity to have a dialogue with her. I told her that I am actually a little different. My teacher was thrilled. She admired my talent for 10 minutes, and then she imagined telling the principal about me and me bringing the school gold medals in intellectual competitions. When I came home after school, my parents were furious. They didn't like the idea of me acting on my own. They considered my gift exceptional, and they were afraid that it might cost us dearly, that others may begin to think that I was abnormal. In short, they chose silence, like I'm some kind of mutant. I told them they promised to train teachers, but they never did, and I was tired of sitting here like this. The next day, I had a meeting with my parents at the principal's office, where I demonstrated my abilities. Miss Gandhi kept saying that I was unique and that I couldn't hide it. She called the parents' outburst a crime. In general, as expected, I participated in many Olympiads and competitions on behalf of the school. Since I was too young, I was offered to go to school, but at the same time to study at the level that is convenient for me. When I was 12 years old, I passed all the exams in the school curriculum and graduated with high school students. By then, I was already a local star. I was asked to create a club for gifted children and work with the children there, and I agreed. But that's not all. My fame, of course, went beyond the school. Strangers began to come visit us and offer to participate in their projects. Among them were not only honest businessmen, but also scammers. They saw my gift from their own angle, promised to pay. I admit, by that time I was looking for something unusual, a modern place of work where people would not pay attention to my age. And I found it. A few years later, after passing an interview and completing dozens of tricky tasks, I was working for an American multinational corporation, and you know what? If you feel a talent, the ability to come up with something, create. Do not give in to mass influence. Do not hesitate to act. No one can feel you like you do.